Hunter Biden's trial. Gabe, what did I just call this thing? I literally just named the podcast going up, and I forget the name already because brilliance happens in a flash sometimes. Forgive me. But this gun trial is just a distraction from Joe Biden. This is what I want you to understand. It's not that I'm not happy to see Hunter Biden going through a trial. I think that he deserves to go through a trial. I think that he deserves to be convicted. I, for one, am not convinced that he will be convicted. The jury is out deliberating as we speak. So we will find out. Hopefully, we will have an answer soon. But I want you to understand that, this is a lose-lose game. I'm sorry. Some of you that are listening to the podcast are like, Carl, why are you going crazy right now? This is a lose-lose scenario. This is a lose-lose scenario, but don't change the title, Gabe, because Brilliant struck again in one or twice in 24 hours. But this is a lose-lose scenario for the American people when it comes to the Hunter Biden trial. I'll explain why, even though I do want a level of justice, as many of you do. We're also going to be talking about the Israeli Defense Forces and the operation that they pulled off over the weekend to rescue 4 hostages. I was listening to, I think it was Bethany Mandel earlier today on Hugh Hewitt's show, and she was traveling with her family on vacation in Paris, France, if I recall correctly. And as news broke that 4 hostages had been rescued, she said she literally just broke down, fell into the street. People were wondering what the heck was going on, and it was just because it had felt like for many of the Jewish people that that want to see this thing not only come to an end, but want to see some of these hostages returned, either brought home safely or even their bodies. Sadly, in many cases, it was just overwhelming because they felt they had met. They felt they had come to a stalemate. So the let me just give you guys a little bit, a little piece of this. This is from Israel Hayom, I believe it's called. And actually, we have a video that I do want to play for you of one of the hostages being reunited with his mom. And I'm sorry, Gabe, because I should have wrote the number down, but I want the people to see it. I want the people to hear it. So what number is this on the tip sheet? I got a lot that I want to bring to you, and we'll try to, here it is. This is number 5. I want you guys to check this out. But one of the hostages is being reunited with his mom. This is nothing short of just, I want to say a miracle. And I guess this would be constituted as a miracle. But the operations, this is something that's not going to be able to happen for 120 other hostages that still remain. There's still American hostages that have dual citizenship that are still in Gaza. I believe perhaps in the Rafah area. I do not know. But also these hostages, if you will, were literally kept amongst civilians in civilian homes. So for all of these pro-Hamas, I don't even know if you would call them protesters at this point. You saw the pro-Hamas Biden supporting, even though they were a little frustrated that 4 Israelis had been rescued, for God's sakes. But we saw the damage that they caused to some monuments, to some statues near the White House. And I'm sure, obviously, they're not going to be treated like J6ers. We do have we don't even have a dual justice system. There's no duality about it. It goes one way. If you're a leftist that can potentially vote for Joe Biden, you're going to get off. If you're somebody that voted for former President Donald Trump and they want to send a message to you, the left does. They're going to do just that. They're going to lock you up. They're going to throw away the key. They're going to create a video and not an animated, but a Hollywood produced style video for you with sounds and backdrop to make it sound more daunting and more scary than it actually was. That's what happened to many of the J6ers. You guys realize that was a Hollywood production, many of the videos of the J6ers. And I'm not here to say that every J6er that was there didn't do anything wrong. Obviously, some people did some stupid stuff, but there was no insurrection. There weren't any guns, people carrying in guns, trying to take over the government. They wanted the Mike Pence to send the send the results of the election back to the state representatives, back to the state, so that they could recertify them after examining them. And if they were confident in, okay, there was no stolen election, then so be it. That's why the people were there. Some of them got carried away. We now know there were some UCs, undercovers. I forget what you call them. in the crowd. Also this real quick, new video footage, this from Breitbart. An unaired video shows Nancy Pelosi admitting responsibility for not having National Guard at the Capitol. This is I did not see this until forgive me. So new video footage had tipped Breitbart provided to House Republicans revealed then Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi admitting responsibility for not having the National Guard protect the Capitol building ahead of protest on J6 2021. It's not going to matter. You guys know, and I know the mainstream media are going to sweep this under the rug, just like they're trying to do with Joe Biden's crimes by distracting us with Hunter Biden's gun trial, which I'll get to in just a sec. But I just want you to understand the America that we live in. Listen, guys, the economy stinks. The border is completely open. Joe Biden's what do you call that? What would you even call that, Gabe? Directive, his executive order isn't going to do anything to seal the border whatsoever. All right. It's actually going to make the border crisis even worse. Donald Trump was in Las Vegas. I'm going everywhere. Donald Trump was in Las Vegas and he was right. It's going to create more human trafficking, more child trafficking, more drugs. And it is because simply you're not even going to register many of these illegals coming across the border. This is the America that we're dealing with right now under Joe Biden's leadership. And now, finally, Nancy Pelosi admitting responsibility for not having the National Guard protect the Capitol building ahead of protests on January 6th. Now, we knew this was the case, but it's just odd that it's coming out now, right? So the footage, Politico notes, quote, was shown in a video shot by the former speaker's daughter, documentarian Alexandra Pelosi. Why is this coming out now? What? I am so I'm not going to lie to you. Why is Politico reporting this now? We've seen footage of Nancy Pelosi's daughter documenting what was going on J6. So that means they knew this information. Why is this coming out now? I'm very curious. All right. So Alexandra Pelosi recently provided to congressional investigators by HBO. It was never aired, nor did Alexandra Pelosi provide it to the January 6th committee when it was supposedly investigating the Capitol riot. So now here's a bit of common sense, right? We know that the Speaker of the House controls the Capitol Police. Why wouldn't the January 6th committee ask Nancy Pelosi why the Capitol was not being protected? They knew her daughter was filming a documentary. Why wouldn't they do that? The truth is they didn't want to get to the truth. This is all about narrative, and this continues. And I know a lot of people listen. I know a lot of people don't want to hear about this. You're over it. Obviously, the economy. It's the economy, stupid. It's the open borders. It's the fentanyl crisis. It's the crime, transing of our kids. Even we got some video for you there, but this is absolutely insane. So the footage, Political notes again. All right, so man, this is just phenomenal. Forgive me, I'm reacting live to this. Wow, Pelosi's J6. This is J6 Select Committee. Who is this? Representative Barry Loudermilk. Pelosi's J6 Select Committee spent taxpayers' money chasing false political narratives and using Hollywood producers for their investigation. Her admission of responsibility directly contradicts their own narrative. It just proves that they'll lie to you, man. They're just a bunch of freaking liars. And you have people sitting in jail innocently as a result of this. All right, now, here's some people that are no longer sitting in jail or held hostage anymore. This is one of the hostages, one of the Israeli hostages, reunited with his mom. Now, again, I just want to remind you guys, remember, oh, man, the Israelis are killing in the Biden administration. We want them to tamper down their response when it comes to they're killing too many civilians. You mean civilians that are basically Hamas lovers? You mean civilians that voted for Hamas? You mean the civilians that Israeli forces will literally do a knock-knock before they bomb the freaking location? Do you mean those civilians? I'm sorry. These people were holding Israelis hostages. The civilians in civilian locations near a refugee camp, by the way, they were found. The 4 hostages that were found near a refugee camp in 2 different locations with civilians. Guys, there's no distinguishment. I'm sorry. There's no distinguishment. Okay, that's a broad sweeping statement. Let me be very careful. A lot of the civilians, so-called, are Hamas. They voted for them. and they'll play a part in it just like they did with these. Here's one being reunited with his Meemaw. Let's go ahead and roll it. Por favor, Gabe.
Oh, there.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Man, woo, that's hard to watch. I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine. But mother seeing her child for the first time in several months, being held hostage, wondering if he's dead or not knowing if he's dead or alive, and if he is dead, how did he die? I mean, these people are gruesome. They're barbaric. They're just as bad, if not worse, than ISIS, burning people alive. I mean, forgive me. I'm not trying to just be. I'm not doing this to try to be just dramatic here, but I mean, some of the things that were reported that they were doing to women were just unspeakable, just unimaginable. So it's truly amazing what happened. It's truly amazing what happened there. I mean, the Israeli forces are frankly just the bomb. Let me just give you just a little bit of what it says here in Israel Hayom. The rescue operation of 4 Israeli hostages from the Gaza Strip on Saturday is an intelligence and operational achievement of the highest order, the complexity of which is hard to describe, they say. The moments of jubilation and joy are understandable and justified. However, we must remember that we cannot rely on such operations and successes as the only or primary way to release the remaining 120 hostages, both living and deceased. The complexity of such a rescue operation included dozens of intelligence and operational components. It's enough for just one of them to not work perfectly for the entire operation to fail. So lots of intelligence played a part. The intelligence required for such an operation is not based on general information, but must reach maximum resolution, such as the exact building, the apartment, and the room. Who is in the apartment? How many guards? The weapons they have? Nearby buildings, enemy forces. How are they able to get this information? And the immediate and peripheral perimeter and dozens of other details. All intelligence components require real-time verification up until the order is given. Unbelievable. The ability to convert intelligence into operational capability under difficult conditions, and especially in daylight, is not a given. Few units are capable of carrying out such a mission with complete success. This is the art of several special units in the IDF, Yamam and Shin Bet. Therefore, the preparation, forgive me if I'm butchering that, guys. The preparation for such an operation takes many days, sometimes even weeks and months, until they know how to present all contingencies. There was a young man, soldier, that was killed as well, basically got in a gun battle. So they say a salute is due to many in the system led by IDF Chief of Staff, the head of Shin Bet, the head of military intelligence, Eharan Haliva, Major General Nitzan Alan, the commander of the Yamam, the commander of the Israeli Air Force, and the commanders of the executing units. Appreciation is due to those who approved the operation, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Defense. All right. So anyway, just wanted to share that news with you. 4 hostages released, 120 to go. We don't suspect that. Listen, there's going to be a lot that are dead and gone. But I do hope that they find their remains. One of the people that was found, Gabe, do you remember the young lady? This was such a just a horrible picture. It was a young lady that was being kidnapped on the back of a motorcycle. Hamas had kidnapped her, and then they were holding her boyfriend at gunpoint, walking him away, and she was just reaching out to him with just absolute horror and terror. I thought she was dead. She was one of the ones that was rescued. I mean, just unbelievable. So I was really, really happy to see that, because her dad, I'm surprised her dad didn't die of a heart attack. By the way, one of them did. One of the 4 that was released, they were on the way to take one of the 4 that was released to see his dad, and apparently his dad died of a heart attack. I mean, oh my Lord. Just anyway, absolute insanity and craziness. Okay. So there's that, and then you saw the pro-Hamas Biden supporters that was absolutely insane over the weekend at right in front of the White House. That was absolutely insane. Which one do I want to go to? You had Trump in Nevada. The Police Protective Association endorses him. We got some video that I may show you shortly. Oversight Chairman Comer, it's no secret that Joe Biden has committed many crimes. We'll get to that in just a second. Oh man, we got some stuff on Hunter. Actually, all right, so let me just move on. So that was great news. That is good news. So let's hope and pray that more of the hostages from Israel are released. Carl, they're not American. Yeah, they're our ally in the Middle East. For those of you that you might not be a spiritual, all right, so you may not have a religious tie to the Jewish community. I believe I do as a Christian, but beyond that, just common sense. They are our only ally in the Middle East. And guys, if you guys don't believe that Hamas is here, all you have to do is go back and look at the weekend, the insurrectionists and the people that were throwing bottles or bottled water at some of the parks, I don't know, law enforcement near the White House without anything being done to them. They're here. Guys, they're here. Emmanuel Macron and some of the European Union took some serious losses this weekend. Thank God, with some conservatives getting some big wins. Marie Le Pen's National Party getting some big wins out there. We'll fill you in on that in just a sec. So that was really important, really good information, man. That story about Nancy Pelosi just blew me away. All right, now let me get to this. Should I start with Caitlin Clark? No, let me get to the Hunter Biden stuff. By the way, today's show is brought to you by MyPillow.com. Mike Lindell at MyPillow.com. A fabulous deal, $25 extravaganza, all things MyPillow, MyPillow.com. You guys know that Mike Lindell has been kicked out of the box stores, right? He's been kicked off of the shopping channels and networks, but he's able to come directly to us, and we're able to offer you guys a $25 deal. Great deals. MyPillow with the Giza Dream fabric on it, the My Sandals dish towel set, bath towel set, only $25. MyPillow.com. All you have to do is use the promo code Carl. All right, use the promo code Carl. Click on that radio podcast square. 800-858-0263. 800-858-0263 is the number. And make sure you click on that. Good Lord, the radio podcast square, and enter my name or say my name, CARL, when you give them a call. All right. And where did I go? I just lost my train of thought. Forgive me. I know this is live. Forgive me. All right. Okay. All right. So thank you, Gabe. All right. Let's get back to Hunter. Guys, this trial with Hunter Biden, I'm just going to give you the real scoop. All right. Because and I'm sure there's other in the media that will, but this is an absolute joke. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy, just like many of you want justice. We see the persecution of former President Donald Trump, and I intentionally use the word persecution. We've seen the persecution of former President Donald Trump, and we're just sickened by it. We know that the left, what they do is it's absolute projection. What they're doing to him or what they say about him is actually what they do. That's who the left is. This is all projection. The Biden family in particular are corrupt. We know that there was an influence peddling scheme going on. Why is it that the crackhead Hunter Biden can't get a job in the industries that he was in? Ask yourself this. Has anyone mentioned this? How is it that Hunter Biden cannot get a job in the industries at which he was playing a part of when Joe Biden was in office? The energy, Burisma, for example. How come he can't get a job doing that now? Why isn't he making money now? Why is it that he had to rely on a sugar daddy that apparently has gone broke? Which is kind of weird, honestly. But why is it that he had to rely on him? Why is it that he had to rely on art that Biden donors were buying? I mean, that alone, in my opinion, tells you all you need to know about Hunter Biden. But guys, these people are absolutely dirty. I'm convinced that Jill Biden is the new Edith Wilson. I believe it's Edith Wilson, Woodrow Wilson's wife, that was actually running the White House. I really believe that's what Jill Biden is doing. That's my opinion. But Hunter Biden is dirty. And and it's cool. The whole gun trial thing is like, man, we want to see justice. We're chomping at the bit, so to speak, because we're so tired of the left beating up on us and us taking it up the rear that we're like, man, we just want to see this fool go to jail. And quite frankly, I'm a big 2A guy. I don't agree with the sentencing guidelines in this case, but the law is the law. So if he's found guilty, so be it. Throw the book at him. That's the way that I see it. But this is a distraction from the big guy. Never forget what the left is trying to do. This is all a distraction from the big guy. There was a wonderful article that appeared in the Post over the weekend. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the Carl Jackson Show podcast, I'm asking you to please subscribe. Anywhere you go to find podcasts, The Carl Jackson Show, Apple, Google, Spotify, obviously YouTube, if you're watching right now live, Rumble, we're on there as well, because sometimes we'll talk about subjects that YouTube may not like. All right. So make sure that you subscribe to our Rumble account too. All things social media at The Carl Jackson Show, X, Instagram, Facebook, True Social, Getter, wherever we are on social media. The Carl Jackson Show is where you can go to find us. But there was a fabulous article that appeared in the New York Post over the weekend. And it was just a good, quick, solid reminder. And I won't go into all the detail and specificity of Hunter Biden's past, but let's just remind you of where we're at with this Hunter Biden trial, because I don't want you guys to go, yes. We got him. No, we didn't. What the left has set up, what they were willing to set up, even though they tried to get away with something that was even worse, what they've managed to set up was the ability to still isolate Joe Biden from Hunter Biden, to keep him away, so to speak. So legacy media has tried to make Hunter's gun trial about about a father's love for his son. So right away, it's this, you can hear the, what do you call it, Gabe? The violins. That's what the media has been trying to do. Whenever, and they've been doing a great job. I'll just be honest with you. They've been doing a great job with it when you consider legacy media. Obviously not conservative media, but Hunter's case isn't about seeking justice against him as much as it is political. It's a maneuver, if you will, that's aimed at protecting the prosecutors, and I'll get into that in just a second. Perhaps Hunter Biden, and certainly the big guy, which is Joe Biden. By the way, speaking of protecting Hunter, I got to be honest with you. I'm a little nervous. I want Gabe to get a video up that I want you guys to see. This is okay. Yeah, I think you're right. But Russian news, let me just read it. Good call, Gabe. Russian news is going after the Hunter Biden pedo angle real hard on prime time. I'm going to share this later on my X post. So make sure you follow me on X, all right? At the Carl Jackson Show, or maybe it's just at Carl Jackson Show. I'm looking. Okay, so the links will be in the description. Thank you, Gabe. So I will post this picture. Maybe there's a video. I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm scared to click on it. But I'm looking at a picture on my laptop of Hunter Biden. I can't tell if he's nude below the waist. It looks like he's got a pillow over him. It looks like maybe something is wrapped around him, but his chest is exposed, and he's surrounded by little girls, with one girl with her foot on his chest, one girl playing with his eyes or something like that. Three other girls just kind of looking on over him. It's a really disturbing video. I am, or at least a picture. So anyway, I am going to share that later. I'm scared to click on it. I'm scared the FBI is setting us up by putting that out there. But it's amazing. But just so you know, I mean, you think of Hunter Biden and all the salacious details from the laptop from hell, as Miranda Devine of the New York Post called it. But this story is so much bigger, and we're not going to be allowed to pursue what the media is doing. This is strategic. All right, get them distracted on Hunter Biden. You know, the no one's above the law, right? We've got David Weiss, we've got Merrick Garland. They're pursuing justice, right? They're coming after Hunter Biden. Yeah, they'll go after Donald Trump, but they'll go after Hunter Biden the same. Never mind the fact. Remember what the Department of Justice did with Joe Biden. They said, Special Counsel Robert Hur said, yeah, this fool, and I'm paraphrasing in my ghetto fabulous way, yeah, this fool is guilty of said crimes, right? But he's just not mentally there. He's not mentally capable of standing trial. So he's not mentally capable of standing trial, but we should vote for this fool for president. But basically, Special Counsel Robert Hur gave it away without giving it away. He said, this guy should be going to trial. The only reason I'm not taking him to trial is because of his mental acuity. That's what he said. That's the special counsel report. That's the special counsel report in a nutshell. All right. So anyway, just moving on. But this case, I mean, we're seeing everything. There's sex, drugs. I don't know if there's rock and roll, but obviously the laptop from hell and all the salacious details that are on there. And you have the FBI admitting that the laptop from hell is real. Hunter Biden's laptop is real. Everything that they've seen on the cloud, nothing has been messed with. Hunter Biden is the only one that has held that laptop, besides the pawn shop that he or the computer repair shop that he took it to, where he ended up leaving it. But I want to know, let me ask you this question. What else is on that laptop? You mean to tell me that laptop that had salacious detail after salacious detail after salacious, all they could derive from that laptop is a gun charge? That's it? That's it? I've seen a book that just had some of the pictures of Hunter Biden. I'm like, that's not a crime. That's not a crime. That's not a crime. And obviously, I'm being facetious. The only thing they're charging them with is a gun crime. Guys, if we don't have the rule of law, we don't have a nation. Seriously, nothing else matters. I know the economy is important. Open borders, obviously, if we have open borders, if we don't have borders, language, culture, Michael Savage used to talk about that all the time. Sure, he still does. You don't have a country. So obviously, you need a border. But even with a border, if you don't have the rule of law, you don't have America. It's what sets us apart. It's our rule of law, our system of governance, where we the people are the bosses, sets us apart from the rest of the world. But if we don't have people in charge that believe in that system, that act upon that system, that obey or adhere to that system, it's worthless. It's worthless. So Special Counsel David Weiss and Merrick Garland, they want you to believe that no one, again, is above the law, except Joe Biden is above the law. And I really wonder if Jill Biden, if I'm being honest, I'm wondering if Jill Biden is above the law to some to some degree. So Hunter could be found guilty. All right, there could be a hung jury, you know. But I'm not suspecting that Hunter Biden is going to be found guilty. And I'll tell you why. For one, you got the first, and this makes me so mad. I'm not going to lie to you. All right, I'm a little petty. You had Jill Biden flying from France, Normandy, the beaches of Normandy, back to Delaware, back to the beaches of Normandy, back to Delaware to be in the courtroom for Hunter Biden. Guys, you guys may recall there was a period of time where Hunter Biden had written a letter. He did not appear to like Jill Biden whatsoever. So everything you're seeing is fake. But what Jill Biden knows is that if Hunter is found guilty, it's going to damage their chances of being reelected. So she's in the courtroom. Why would a first lady be inside of a local courtroom, a state courtroom? Why would she be there? Why wasn't she there for the child support hearing? She's there to intimidate. That's what she's there for. You don't think people, and maybe it's not even intimidation. My brother had a good point earlier. My brother Richard, he said something. He was like, well, it may not even be to intimidate, but it may just be, oh, wow, the first lady's here. Yeah, and that's that is perceivable. But guys, yeah, he could be found guilty, hung jury. I think he walks. I hope that I'm wrong. And I'm willing to come back on here. Remember, I'm going to be live every Monday from now on. However, we do record a podcast every day. So make sure, or Monday through Friday, I should say. So make sure you subscribe to the Carl Jackson Show wherever you go to get your podcast: Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, wherever we are on social media. At the Carl Jackson Show is where you can go to find us. Pull forward. All right. So make sure that you do that. But I'm not convinced he'll be found guilty. I want you to consider the defense team's strategy. And this guy from the New York Post writes about it beautifully. He talks about the defense team is basically diving deep into the tragedies that have befallen the Biden family. He calls them the royal family. So they're going to play up Beau Biden good. They're going to play up Hunter Biden's drug addiction. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Because they picked a jury that are sympathetic. At least 5 of the people on the 12 jury panel, if you will, are sympathetic to a Hunter Biden story. Crackhead, alcoholic. They're not going to hear about the influence peddling, right? They're not going to hear about that. But they're going to hear this is a crackhead that went wrong. And they may be sympathetic, especially if it's someone that was in their immediate family and they've gone through that pain and they've seen that pain. And then the first lady is sitting there sitting off on the side. And you're like, oh, my Lord, Secret Service first lady is sitting here. It's a friendly state, Delaware. That's where Joe Biden was senator. It's a smaller state. They are a very popular family there. It's going to be hard to find this guy guilty. By reporting that Joe Biden is concerned about the case, the mainstream media is making the story about a father's love for his son, but it isn't anything like that. They're trying to turn the Bidens into sympathetic figures. They're also trying to turn them into victims. So picture this. While his DOJ, the Biden DOJ, is going after former President Donald Trump, going after J6ers, going after pro-lifers, they want to be painted in a sympathetic, they want to be sympathetic victims. They want to be victims in all of this. And a guilty verdict could lose on appeal because these people are anti-second. And you know what? Screw it. I don't care if he goes away. This is an changing my mind right on the spot. This is an anti-Second Amendment family. But now you have Abbe Lowell, Hunter Biden's attorney, hoping that even if Hunter Biden is found guilty, they're hoping on the Bruen case of New York so that they could use that pro-Second Amendment case for an appeal. This is amazing. So they're in friendly Delaware, no crime connected to Joe Biden. That's what you have to take away from this. Hunter Biden is literally, this is, okay, Hunter Biden, even if he is found guilty, you don't think Jill Biden will commute his sentence at the very least or offer him a full pardon? Carl, you said Jill Biden. Yeah, I know. You really think Joe Biden is there? I don't. I don't. I think there's times where he is lucid and he knows what he's saying. I don't know when that is, but I suspect like if you've been around a dementia patient, there's times where they talk or say something and you're like, what the heck? I've been around some. All right. So they talk and you're like, what the heck? I mean, that this guy is getting the best of the best care there is, right? Being the president of the United States. But here's the history. Again, friendly state, no crime connected to Big Joe, to the big guy. And so this guy could walk. This guy could walk, or he'll be pardoned. I suspect that he would get a pardon. And frankly, a lot of people are, will Joe Biden? Of course, Joe Biden, aka Jill Biden will pardon them. Of course they will. Here's the history. I just want to recap on the history. Let's see if there's more salacious details that we can play here. All right, let's do this. Let's roll this, Gabe. This is video clip number 7. This is a thread of all of the evidence against Hunter Biden. And even all of the evidence against Hunter Biden. Again, I'm not sure that it'll matter, but if none of it leads back to Joe, if none of it leads back to the influence peddling scheme, I think we've been duped. I gotta tell you, I'm sorry. All right. For years, key players at the Justice Department and the FBI systematically sabotaged the real case against Hunter Biden. I'm going through the column. Here's big crimes that Hunter and Joe have avoided, ranging from alleged violations of FARA, which is the okay, never mind. Okay, Foreign Agents Registration Act. So number 7 is just one of an article here, but it's a list of a thread of all the evidence against him. All right, I'll have to check that out. All right, so actually, let me tap on that. Let me see what it says. Let's see what it says here. I know this is live, but a mega thread of all the evidence. And okay, it's not popping up. All right, I'll take a look at that later. For whatever reason, it's not even popping up. So I'll save that for another day. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, the FARA, Foreign Agents Registration Act, tax evasion connected to Biden family's international influence peddling scheme. Now, remember what they were doing. They walked into a courtroom, and the prosecutors had let the statutes of limitations lapse on material offenses that were probably linked to Vice President Joe Biden at the time. Now, remember, we found out that then Vice President Joe Biden was taking classified information home. Senator Joe Biden was taking classified information home, even with his ghost writer, if you will. You had Joe Biden that was sharing classified information with his ghost writer, with a book that was published on his behalf. So this is a guy, Joe Biden, that has committed the crimes that he's blaming Trump for. This is the guy that should be in prison. Not now that he's become president. I'm not into that. I don't believe presidents should go to jail. So as much as I hate Joe Biden, as much as I would like to see him slip and fall on some marbles, I don't want to see a president go to jail, because I do think, even as evil as he is, if he was going to go to prison, he should have gone to prison while he was a private citizen, for the crimes he committed as vice president, for the crimes he committed as a senator. He could have went to prison, and he should have. But now that he's president, or at least acting president, that just isn't the case. But remember, again, the IRS let some of the bigger crimes just lapse. They just let them lapse, or the prosecutors did. Then you had IRS whistleblowers that came forward, shocked at what they saw Hunter Biden getting away with, because this is stuff they had prosecuted in the past. And then federal law enforcement, through proper congressional channels, they fed all this information up the channels. They were in front of Congress. You guys may have seen, I forget their names, but they were really brave. Still to this day, they're brave, in my opinion. I always wonder, like, are these fools' cars going to blow up? I hate to think that way, but I do, especially when it comes to the Bidens, because these people are completely dirty. So you had a DOJ that was literally doing everything they possibly could to make sure that Joe Biden got away with all of these crimes. He was allowed to enrich himself, enrich his brother, enrich their family. Yet they'll go after former President Donald Trump. Here's something that I want to go to video clip number 4, Gabe, if you could get that ready. Oversight Chairman Comer, it's no secret that Joe Biden has committed many crimes. These guys know. These guys know the evidence. All right, let's go ahead and roll that audio clip, or video clip number 4. Pull 5.
But you sent criminal referrals for Hunter Biden and James Biden over perjury, for lying to Congress. Where are the criminal referrals, if that's all true? Where are the criminal referrals for FARA, for money laundering, for corruption, for influence peddling? Where are these?
Yeah. Well, we're just beginning, Maria, and a lot of those crimes that the Bidens have committed, the statute of limitations has run out. That was one of the complaints that the IRS whistleblower said when we had them testify in our committee. But we're going to deal with those, and we're going to deal with Joe Biden. Remember, this is an investigation of Joe Biden. Hunter Biden, Jim Biden, Eric Sherwin, Devin Archer, these are all witnesses in an investigation of Joe Biden. This was always about Joe Biden. Now, we're going to do everything we can to hold Hunter Biden and all the different shady associates accountable. This is just the beginning, but the next step will be accountability for Joe Biden. I think everyone that's kept up with this investigation will be very eager to see what the next step is. This is the first step, these criminal referrals. Everything that we refer to the Department of Justice is within the statute of limitations. In fact, there's 5-year statute of limitations. So if Merrick Garland's Department of Justice doesn't take this up in an appropriate manner, then the next administration and a new attorney general certainly can. The investigation's already been done. And with these criminal referrals, we published a 60-page report of nothing but hard evidence that no one has made a comment disputing anything we provided in the evidence.
Okay, so these criminal referrals will stand for 5 years, beyond potentially
Yes.
Merrick Garland's time there and
Absolutely.
Biden's DOJ. Are you saying that we could expect a criminal referral against Joe Biden for money laundering? Is that what you just said?
Well, I think that it's no secret Joe Biden's committed many crimes, and I think that you're going to see a report very soon. That report is imminent. That'll probably be an interim report that updates everyone on the crimes that Biden and his administration have committed throughout this investigation and through the years of the Obama-Biden administration.
Well,
All right.
You have subpoena power. Why not subpoena these people as well? Put them in the hot seat.
We've subpoenaed all the associates. The only person we haven't talked to is Joe Biden. As you know, it's hard to subpoena a sitting president, or the Democrats would have done that to Donald Trump. But I think that what we've done in all of our depositions and interviews has been very substantive, and it's going to be very useful in accountability.
Mr. Chairman, will
Well, that accountability will only come if we win the White House, if we retain the House and gain some seats, hopefully with some real conservatives, and win back the Senate. Otherwise, accountability isn't going to come. I'm just being real with you guys. I think so many conservatives like to blow smoke up your butt just for clicks. I don't do that here. I will never do that. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to speak the truth as I see it. I'm going to report the news. But I tell you what, this House has been found wanting. The House leadership has been found wanting, in my opinion. Just real quick, just to kind of tie up the history of the Hunter Biden trial and how this thing is all a facade, how it's all a scandal. Remember, the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office colluded with Hunter Biden's legal team to concoct that sweetheart deal back in the day. I don't even know if it was legitimately a sweet deal, but it was basically, I don't even think it was that. It was like basically let the guy walk. The guy could have been, he wouldn't have been prosecuted not only for the tax charges, but he would have gotten global immunity, essentially what the New York Post writes, a get out of jail free card that insulated Biden from all of the most serious charges he might otherwise have faced, including things that could have been done in the future. But the deal collapsed when the Delaware judge, Mary Ellen Noreika, forced Garland to appoint Weiss a special counsel. Because she simply asked the question, are you guys saying this guy's going to get total immunity from all prosecution? And she was like, I'm not down with that deal. So this blew up in their face. But I think they're still concocting and colluding. Like, okay, let's make this look good. Listen, we're going to put him in front of a jury. If they find him guilty, they'll find him. But you know what? He's going to be in front of a friendly jury. He's going to be in Delaware. So this is what's happening. Then there's a pending Los Angeles case against Hunter Biden is slightly deceptive, is only less deceptive. He says, the writer of New York Post, it at least deals with alleged financial crimes stemming from his work in the Biden family business, monetizing his father's name, including at the tail end of Joe's vice presidency. But the indictment never makes reference to that name, Joe Biden, meaning, and prosecutors further distract Prosecutors further distract from the underlying corruption by focusing in great detail on Hunter's lavish spending on escorts and exotic cars, but not the influence peddling. The real story of Hunter Biden's legal troubles isn't about sex, guns, drugs, or even taxes. The writer writes, rather, it's about the now First Family's global international influence peddling operation. So make no mistake about it. That's what this is about. This case is just a distraction to keep you distracted from the real real crime, and that is the influence peddling scheme by President and CEO of the Biden family business, Biden family crime business, Joe Biden. The guy is an absolute crook. He has nothing going for him, so why wouldn't he be? All right, let me just make mention. There's a couple of things that I'd like to opine on real quick. Trump had a great rally over the weekend. I'm not even going to play this one video, so don't worry about it, Gabe. But the Nevada Police Protective Association, they endorsed Trump. You had several thousand people out there sitting in, 100-degree weather. Trump lost, the state of Nevada in 2016 by about 2 points to Hillary Clinton, about the same amount, give or take, in 2020 to Joe Biden. But I do believe that he can turn things around. Here's one thing I'm going to ask you to never take for granted. You see all this momentum, and I really do believe there's something going on, right? But you see all this momentum at the rallies. I think people are fed up. I really do believe that we are turning a corner with all of this woke stuff and the economy. People, you can't continue to gaslight people and tell them they're better off than they are when they can't afford to buy a home, when they can barely afford to put gas in their car, and when they have to make choices every night for dinner, and breakfast. Oh, I'm going to have to put this item that I used to be able to afford, I can't afford it anymore. You can't continue to gaslight people when they're freaking living it. And you can't continue to gaslight people on Joe Biden's health when you can see them, just barely trugging along, looking like he's pooping his pants when he's in the when he's at Normandy. But I believe this stuff is starting to turn a corner. There's one video that I want to show you. This is clip number 1. Elon Musk even commented on this. I believe Robbie Starbuck put it out. But a doc calls out NGOs facilitating child mutilation. Anyway, I'll show this video to you real quick. And you know what, guys, you're going to have to subscribe on Rumble too, because there's some things that I really want to talk about. I really want to share with you. We know that this isn't a free speech platform. So again, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, and share all of my platforms, but particularly the free speech platforms. Rumble is probably the number one. So please follow me there as where X. Yeah, but I got to tell you, even with X, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of kinks that still need to be worked out on X. I still feel like there's some commies inside because I don't know. I still don't feel like X flows as good as Twitter used to flow back in the day before they started censoring. So anyway, hopefully Elon Musk can work on that. But I would say follow me on X. It is better than many of the platforms that exist out there. But X, Facebook, Truth Social, Getter, wherever I am on social media. I'm more so on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Those are the places I'm on the most. I'll just be completely honest with you. All right. But let's go ahead and roll this video. Hopefully this one won't get us kicked off of YouTube. But I think it's very important because I believe all of these things are starting to hit, like the child mutilation thing, the economy, the foreign policy that's an absolute and utter disaster. These pro-Hamas terrorists on these college campuses, and now right in front of the White House. People are seeing this stuff and feeling the pain at the pump, feeling the pain in their wallet. And I think even doctors are getting more bold. Here's one. I saw another one tonight on Laura Ingraham's briefly, but let's roll this video clip number 1, por favor, Gabe. And then I'll comment on Caitlin Clark and close it out.
But you sent criminal referrals.
All right, we
have serious concerns about the physical and mental health effects of the current protocols promoted for the care of children and adolescents in the United States who express discomfort with their biological sex. This declaration was authored by the American College of Pediatricians, but really it was developed from the expertise of hundreds of doctors, researchers, and other healthcare workers and leaders who, for years, have been sounding the alarm on the harmful protocols that continue to be promoted by the medical organizations in the United States. Despite recent revelations from the leaked WPATH files and the recent release of the final report from the CAS review, these medical organizations have not changed course. So we are calling on these medical organizations of the United States, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society, the Pediatric Endocrine Society, the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, and the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry to follow the science and their European colleagues and immediately stop the promotion of social affirmation, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries for children and adolescents who experience distress over their biological sex. In our declaration, we affirm that sex is a dimorphic, innate trait defined in relation to an organism's biological role in reproduction, male and female. This genetic signature is present in every nucleated somatic cell in the body and is not altered by drugs or surgical interventions. Consideration of these innate differences is critical to the practice of good medicine and to the development of sound policy for children and adults alike. Medical decision-making should be based upon an individual's biological sex. It should respect biological reality and the dignity of the person by compassionately addressing the whole person. We are here defying the claims made by these medical organizations in the US that those of us who are concerned are a minority and that their protocols are consensus. They are not consensus, and we are speaking in a loud, unified voice. Enough.
Wow, man. Thank God, man. Seriously. I mean, doctors, I can't even find this research anymore for those of you that are tuning in, but I did research of some of the most evil people that have existed in modern history, and they all had some type of background, or the majority of them, in medicine, somehow, some way, shape, or form. You talk about people that can do good or do evil, doctors, nurses. This lady's doing really good. So are many other doctors that are out there that were fighting against the, you know what I'm talking about. You can't say it on YouTube, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. And now they're fighting out and they're speaking out against this. It's sad. I remember years ago, Barack Obama talked about how doctors were in certain things. So, they would amputate this and amputate that for money. And I was like, how could he call doctors out like that? And at the time, I thought he was a liar. And he probably was, more so. Actually, he was a liar. But it seems like many doctors have gone that way, because look at what they're willing to do to people who have a mental disorder to make money, to build a new industry of medicine. And pharmaceuticals can get in on the business. This is sick. And honestly, I get sick and tired of people, even conservatives, that, not the children, but adults. Yeah, we can experiment. No, you don't experiment on anybody that's mentally ill. You don't cut off body parts. That's sick. I even hear quote unquote Christians say this. What asinine, weak cowards. No, nobody should be getting their parts chopped off of me. I don't care if they're a grown freaking man. If they're mentally ill, it should not happen. Doctors should know better. They do know better. Like she said, it's not the consensus like these people would have you believe. They're intimidated. They get into these big, hospital managerial type things. They buy out these doctors' private practices. And then those doctors, if they want to continue to get paid, they better behave. That's what's happening. Last thing, Caitlin Clark. Let's close this thing up, Gabe. I didn't intend to go this long, but sometimes the brilliance just flows. Let's just be real. All right. Caitlin Clark.
What was your reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation.
You should say, or did you say, can people hear you, Gabe?
4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whoever's
Gabe says liar.
Recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break? From Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be really nice. I mean, I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to, first of all, like, get rest and get healthy and just get a little time away from basketball and the craziness of everything that's been going on, and, just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, like, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, like, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
All right, so let me just be real with you. One of the stories that nobody's talking about, one of the underlying stories about this Caitlin Clark saga, and I will get in, speak to the Olympic issue specifically. I'm gonna just come out and say it. Black liberal women are some of the most racist people there are, and nobody wants to say it, and it's absolutely true. I don't know why it's true, but it is true. Well, Carl, there's white women calling her out in the WNBA and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's because they're virtue signaling and they want to pretend like they want everybody to know I'm not racist, I'm not racist, I'm not racist, I'm not racist. That's what's happening. That's what's happening there. But if you happen to be a black female and you're in the WNBA, you don't want to see this white chick that comes in that's stealing your thunder, that's stealing your glory. And that's the way they feel. They feel like this is a black woman's game. This is a black man's game, so to speak. And you guys know I'm not lying. And so to see this white chick come in and perform so well, it's intimidating. Because now these black women that thinks that have been told in college, you're oppressed and all this kind of stuff. And then you see this girl, relatively, this white girl, great shooter, the Steph Curry, if you will, of the female version of Steph Curry, attractive, fun, likable, or whatever. You get these black chicks looking at her like, oh man, oh no, like that chick. I don't even know her name, and I don't care to know her name because I will never watch her play. I'm not even gonna lie. If I saw a Caitlin Clark game, I'd watch it. I'd watch it. That's what she's done for the sport. And all of these chicks are just jealous, and everybody knows it. If Caitlin Clark was a black lesbian, she'd be fine in the WNBA, but she's not. They'd be okay with a black lesbian coming in and stealing all of their glory. I think at least they would tolerate it. But she's a white chick. She's bringing a lot of attention to the game. Quite frankly, I won't watch the WNBA unless I see she's playing. I've never watched the WNBA. Her coach came out from the Indiana Fever, and she said something to the effect of, well, all these people that are just paying attention to, and I'm paraphrasing, are paying attention to about the Olympic snub for the first time, the WNBA for the first time. Yeah, fool. Exactly. We're paying attention to the WNBA for the first time. So send Caitlin Clark to the Olympics, because nobody else is going to bring women's basketball the type of attention that Caitlin Clark is. This is really simple. If you want your sport to grow, if you want all of your players to do better financially, if you want people to know that I don't even know anybody's name except hers. Yeah, I know some of the OGs, Rebecca Lobo, Cheryl Swoops, you know what I'm saying? Tarazi, I know Tarazi is there. Sue Bird, from back in the day. I know, some of those names when the WNBA was, but I've never paid attention. I've never wanted to watch the game. And you know why? I don't want to see chicks acting like dudes, for one. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see, I don't want to see that. It's unappealing to me. And I don't want to see chicks do stuff that I think I can go out and practice for a few months and do myself. The reason why the NBA thrive, which I don't watch that anymore since it's gone woke, is because I look at dudes do stuff that I can't do. The phenomenon with Caitlin Clark is she can do something that other people can relate to, but perhaps I can't do, because she can bust threes like nobody's business. It's really simple. What you should do is when you're playing Caitlin Clark, use that as motivation, you ladies, to shine. Stop being a bunch of racist bigots. That's part of the problem. Nobody wants to talk. That's part of the problem. It is because she's white. It is because she's white. It is because she's white. Just let's just be real. She's white and she's good. She went to what's considered a black person's game, basketball, and she's drawing crowds. She's already, I think she's already, I haven't even watched, I just read, she's already set a record. The first WNBA player to get to 200 points. Taurasi, I didn't even realize Taurasi was this old. Oh, she's 41, 42 years old, going to her fifth, USA Olympic team. Why? ¿Por qué? What for? If you want to bring international fame to the WNBA, send Caitlin Clark. If you don't, honestly, I'm like, I hope when Caitlin Clark bounces, you're obscure again. I really do. I really do. I saw some chick sounding like a dude, some black chick, giving a press conference. A guy asked her some question, and she was like, "Are you for real? Are you for real?" I mean, she could sound like a man, could barely speak English. I'm like, why would I want to watch this junk? I don't even think you're good. And you're going to give me, lip and attitude. And oh my goodness, women can be crazy. I got to tell you, just real quick. I remember my daughter. My daughter was getting bullied so bad one time. We had to put her in jiu-jitsu. All right. I never realized how nasty women could be. But the combination of nasty women in the WNBA, lesbians, a lot of them, and black chicks that don't want to see a white girl getting more attention in their league, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. All right, guys, listen, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Again, do not forget to subscribe wherever you go to get your podcast. Please like, please share this. MyPillow.com, guys, Father's Day right around the corner, $25 extravaganza. All you have to do is go to MyPillow.com, click on that radio podcast square, enter my name, Carl, C-A-R-L. I don't spell it like the communists, all right, C-A-R-L, or give them a call, 800-858-0263, 800-858-0263. Tell them Carl, C-A-R-L, sent you. Until next time, don't forget, Carl Jackson merch. .itemorder.com. We got Love Guns, Hate Tyranny t-shirt. We got the Promise t-shirt for Pride Month, right? We can, let's reclaim the rainbow. All right. So we got that shirt. We got Love Guns, Hate Tyranny. We've got Skin Ain't Sin. I may add a little bit to that t-shirt. I was thinking about it because some people don't get it. I get it. I think Gabe got it, right? Skin Ain't Sin. But it's just basically, it's your character over your skin color. Nothing more than that. All right. That's what that t-shirt is about. We got a couple more coming out. Don't Grow Weary Doing Good t-shirt coming for you. Non-binary t-shirt coming for you. So look for those soon. CarlJacksonMerch.itemorder.com. They'll be on the info below. Until next time, do not grow weary doing good. God bless you. Oh, okay. So thank you. Oh, thank you, Camille. How do you spell it? C-A-M-I-E. Yeah, okay, I think that's Camille. So thank you, Camille. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys being out there. Really appreciate you guys listening. All right, guys. God bless you guys. Thank you, Camille. Thank you so much. And until next time, don't grow weary doing good. God bless you. Oh.